I trouble, I say. On a side of your eye, my get out like what try your boy. Oh, yeah, baby, I'll be on your play. What like yourself? What like your menu? I say, oh, right now. Once I did it, I say, oh, my God. You see, get oh, hey, my yourself, I'm like, what's we looking at? I say, oh, like, this is a special birthday song for that dog. Jawali Juneta, well, we say happy birthday to you. Enjoy your new age. The graduate daughter, not forgetting Shannon Taylor, a chicken air. One of the number of late dollar, little Taylor, well, Taylor. That's well. Not forgetting Brother Tony, well, Martin. Yasina So, in Taxi, Mother Teresa, Reina So, in Rhode Island. Yeah, I travel it. Everyone's birthday, everyone listen, happy other. I say, oh, that you. I say, oh, what's happening now? I say, you. No, I do this, wow, that you. And the original soul in Rhode Island. I said, my mind. I said, Helena, boy, Rhode Island. I put on his soul in Liberia. But yeah, the left uncle stand it so. That's young. Says Angie in Rhode Island. Anita Sian, Minnesota. I put you throw, but you drop my old like you. Do not well, I drop my old, or I see myself. When your person looking, when your person looking, when your person looking, when your person looking, you just say, oh, like you. No, I beat Daniela. You're not on the way. You say, I get it. Happy on your floor. I go. Alfonso So, I look out like many times of Mr. Alfonso So in the US. I thought Alfonso is young so. It could be a question. I thought, say, look, what's your boy? Young, congratulations to that job. Jawali Jonathan, well, it is a birthday. I just say, oh, like, you got your money. They come run away, never. And where do I like you? And where do I do? Oh, I will like you. Not forgetting the cousins of the celebrant. Anita Sian in Minnesota. Direct Tabu, Minnesota. Uncle Jerry So, Rhode Island. And some important personality here, right? Not forgetting our late father.
Good evening to want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. I am your host, Alfonso So of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome you for this show this evening. Today is Tuesday. Good to have you here. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome in the house of LPR, Diaspora Informative News Magazine, broadcasting beautiful evening here in the East Coast from the ocean state of Rhode Island. Thank you for sharing your morning, to your evening, to your afternoon, depending on your location. This is what we do, and this is why we are here. we can't just do it without your presence. It is important that you form part of this sort of conversation. And we intend not to leave no one behind in the process of having these national conversations. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping when I come back. In the meanwhile, there are people who happen to keep the wheel of this industry spinning, turning, to the extent that we are even tired, fatigue, we still try to be here. I'm setting in for the liberal progressive conversation with Samson too, but that does not suggest my talking point or his way of doing things is not going to go that way. I'm just filling in for him because he's not here. He's currently in Liberia. And so you see the stabilization, how the network is being stabilized of recent, because he's not here. It can be so quiet, it can be so peaceful, but I talk to him on a daily basis, and we all know why he's in Liberia. He has gone to lay his son to rest. I believe, yes, on the 19th, funeral rites, wakekeepings, everything in 19 will be held in its own time of Totan. The remains will be taken to Totan. So there are a lot of running around, but I will still talk and give him the support. But that does not suggest I'm going to be like the liberal. I never want to be like the liberal. Liberal believes in big size government. Liberal supports all of, I don't know why he called himself liberal. That's a different thing. But guess what? In as much as he's in Liberia, he's not strategizing. He's planning not to allow me to participate on his program because he met his folks in Liberia now, and it seems not to be happy with him. He told me, and I said, I want to tell the audience, so that when you come and you begin to perfect that into actions, by then they know. So, I can't keep no secret. There's nothing to keep. We want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us here at and I'm going to be doing a little bit of housekeeping to acknowledge our committed and followers, regardless of how it looks there. You all will look out there for the link as well, not because we are the owner, but it's part of your commitment. And it is you that keep us going to do what we are doing. Let's take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back.
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business.
There you have it. That's your friend in business. We want to thank you so much. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome in the house of Lpr-Tv. We do appreciate your time spent with us here. My man Moses Momolu is in the hall. Teresa is here. Good evening. Florence Yancey, this seems to be a new face, which of course, if this is the first time, we just throw a red carpet to welcome you. But it's just turning in this evening. Go to any car dealership tomorrow. Do buy life support credit. They're going to go away just by turning into LPR. Check your credit score after 12 a.m. today. Everything going to work. Until then, it's easy and so say. We want to say thank you so much for joining us. Precious is in the hall. Talai is here. Anthony is in the hall as well. Nini, I hope I'm calling it. Aloysius is here. We say good evening to Veronica is in the house. And of course, Mr. Ty Gowen Campbell Tor Sr. Could have you here. Joshua. Aqua is a high, how we call it? Bala is here, and as time goes on, we're going to give this recognition. But we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. It's about the country, not about us. So entertainment is less on this network. Notwithstanding, we have some folks here who believes in Tabata because of their political enticement. They are politicians. They're always here to soften the ball, to give all of the excuses, because they protect their own alligators. And like I say, who rides the back of the alligator goes into the belly of the alligator. You're going to see some of them here tonight. You're going to see them here tonight. Some of them 360 degrees, but yet they will give excuses. What LPR security analyst is here from Delaware, in the homeland of former President Joe Biden. He was in Rhode Island yet. He's a Washington, but he said he's a security analyst, independent, he claimed to be, but his tone doesn't look like that. His talk doesn't resemble anything like that. He always, I don't know. They give excuses for all of the people. That is just so bad. The media is corrupt. The media is compromised. All of those yesterday who were claim to be advocating for you, not me. Nobody can talk for me. I can talk very, very well for myself. Because we've been down that road before. And so they can't even try that. Okay, so again, if you are here in the USA, in Liberia, and in parts of the world, what we do, we try to showcase, promote our own, and you have a business, you have an event you want to cover. Once you are in the USA, you are in Liberia, let us know. LPR is always there. It's a community network. We are not selective in the sense we don't just want to turn our microphones to politicians, the elite policy decision maker. We turn our microphone to ordinary Liberian who feels the pain at the pump. Those are the authentic people, not these analysts you see them come all dressed, set glasses on their nose like Ivan Fisk of Lpr-Tv those days, and then just eyeball Osa, and then speaking all those big book. Vla. They're just doing it for their participant. They would cry, they would scream, they would yell. But when their folks get there, then all their car windshields, they turn them to tinted glasses. You only see the tire rolling. And they shoot up part in the air. That's all they do. They're screaming, you're screaming. They were screaming all over every network. Do you see them? Some people are collecting money, providing security for them because they said they were going to Liberia. They were being wanted. I don't know why we can't think and be a little bit strategic and ask questions on things that we want to do. Let me bring in my guy, Moses It's the security analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. He's Washington, but he professed not to be called. What, you heard what I was saying?
I heard you the whole time.
Huh?
I heard you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't gossiping. I was just telling my folks what was in the making.
Okay.
All right. So, are you listening to something that I think like getting a little bit of feedback?
Yeah, it was some feedback, but it's over now.
Okay, good. See, that's how they do. When they come, they want to distract people. They think these are the agents of the liberal on this network. See, they can't make it. They can't stand me. Look, tonight here, I want us to speak, look in the eyes of the camera, and say A and talk about A. Is that a deal?
You know, I always do that. So I'm not sure why you always refer to me as Mr. Boashin. And you know, and I told you that.
It's not heading.
Let me tell you something.
You're starting now. Why you want to run away from your own?
No, I'm not running away. I'm not running away.
You see, nothing wrong with that.
Listen, there's a time for politics. There's a time to work when the administration is in place. So the politics is over. The politicking is over. So now we got to focus on getting the job done. So let me just say this. We, in a different land, had to leverage support for somebody that we thought would have made a difference, or we thought will make a difference. And we did that. We know that he's going to make a difference.
He will?
He will, and he continued to do it. He's doing it now, and it's happening. But here's what it is. As a security person, you cannot be associated with politics. And so now we've concluded, and I've told you guys that on the show many times, security personnel cannot disclose their affiliation to any political party. Now, here's what happened. They can vote, but they're voted between they and themselves. So moving forward, there's no way, since I signed up to be the security analyst, I'm no longer in the position to support any political party.
Why you don't want us to see you? You're trying to
just so you know that. No, I just checked the screen for
where is the letter? Where's the letter?
The letter? You want it right now? I'll put it in writing.
Or you will put it in? You're supposed to have it now.
Well, I can get it to you now. You want me to type it right?
No. We have a forensic that will detect no dating. We want to know when that letter. We want to know when that letter.
But you know, we come on the show. Good evening, audience out there, and good evening, Brother Saul. And you know, I just want to commend you for what you do again continuously.
Look at Clarence David.
No, we're not going to do that. So but I just want to. There's quite a bit on my mind. I got 3 important things on my mind, maybe 4 or 5, but there's 3 leading things on my mind that I need to talk about. If we don't have enough, if we don't have a lot of folks here, then we can go through that.
We have to address mine first.
We'll address yours first.
We had a talking point here when I'm moderating. This is
I know.
So that you're 455 things.
This is all things considered.
No, they're not all things considered. Today is Tuesday.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I thought today Wednesday. Oh, the liberal. Okay.
Don't get too far. Setting in for the liberal does not suggest I will behave like the liberal. You know that's not going to happen. Let me bring in our senior analyst from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Terry Collins, a strong supporter of Jose Newman Boakai. Is that how they call him, Boakai?
Terry.
Mr. Collins, good evening. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Terry, the CEO on a mission tonight.
He always on a mission, but he wearing now the
that vest he got you.
the bishop attire, that's the color they wear. But anyway, we are here.
You're trying hard to make friends. I'm not going.
But I
I'm not
saw the
going.
color. I said, "Huh, we
I'm not going.
inside
After
today.
the
They
program,
recognize you."
after the program, then the friendship host. Okay, gentlemen. Good evening. Good to have you here. So I really appreciate you guys. This is like a part second job for us though. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
well,
And I
we're
kind of
doing
really apologize yesterday on the human body. The body couldn't just respond. It was
Yeah, I
tired. I
know.
came home. I said, let me just kind of chill out a little bit to let the body temperature or whatever to go down.
Yeah.
I was before I got to know I was in Grandy. I was dreaming, man. The palm bottle, the fire code, the snail, everything was rolling, man. I said,
The tabadu were inside.
I had groundhog and I had tabadu.
That is family.
Yeah, they are all from the same people. Okay, but guys, good to have you here. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is what? It's Armed Forces Day?
Yeah.
Armed Forces Day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. What are you doing tomorrow? Who was the orator for this year? I never had a chance to peruse. Any of you guys know who's the orator of the Armed Forces Day? Mr. Collins, I mean, you're one of those always checking on stuff.
I don't know, Mr. So, they feel they have been slow on the news because
what? Are you frustrated?
No, not really, but the news is not newsing. The news is not news making.
By your own creation and one giving you a hard time.
The news is not news making, Mr. So. Nothing on the news.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is not being discussed.
And the worst thing is, let's talk about the Armed Forces Day. And let me just point this out to the security. Ms. Collins from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me go to you, Moses, quickly here. You are the Armed Forces Day. Let's retrospect here. The significance of it and why. What is the importance? What should we retrospect when it comes to Armed Forces Day in your own security world?
I think we set the Armed Forces Day was set up maybe from the first time the Frontier Force was put in place to serve as the defense force for the little country Liberia at the time. Right after that, when they put the armed forces together, the Frontier Force, then they had to include the last, I think, 4 counties to make Liberia 9 counties. And I think the celebration is unique in a form that they're celebrating a branch of government that is there to protect the borders from any other invasion as an independent nation. And it's been done ever since then. And I think it's important. I live Buzi Quarter, so when the Armed Forces Day came, we went down, we saw the parade of the military, and we walked right there. As a little boy, it was something that we looked forward to because we saw our uncles, our fathers, and those people who had taken the oath to protect their little country from invasion, and we were peaceful at the time. There was no country looking to come and railroad us. Yeah, as you know, history tends to let us know that Guinea wanted to take half of Liberia, and they fought the people from the Lofa end and the other places that we share a common border, and that instigated the Frontier Force being formed. So I think they can, and Liberian, the military in Liberia went places to participate in the Congo, everywhere.
Yeah.
And Liberia stood some grounds. They challenged they challenged South Africa. You know that for years, and we were ready to send military down there most of the time. And most of those other countries, Angola and the Congo, used to be called Brazzaville, and all of those places, troops went down there to help to kill the war. So it's good to celebrate it. I think this generation doesn't have the kind of history. I don't think they know the history, and I'm not sure if they've been educated about, about the armed forces and what the people have done. And I think these are things, hopefully, tomorrow would be talked to, and people need to know that. We used to see the army drill right down the street, then they end up at the Comfort Executive Mansion and go back to the Syria barracks, and it was a great day to celebrate. And we celebrated the people who needed to be celebrated. So that's what state comes to mind. I still respect that today.
Yeah. Tara, you want to chip in on that? So what can you retrospect about the armed forces? What is the uniqueness of it, you think?
Well, I think the Armed Forces Day is a celebration calling to remember the establishment of the military, the services they contributed, like the Liberian Frontier Force founded in 1908, and also 1957, the establishment of the AFL. So call is a call into remembrance, promoting the national pride, strengthening civilian military relations, and highlighting the military role in protecting national sovereignty and maintaining peace and stability. That is what the Armed Forces Day celebration is about. And I think there is a guy that will be representing us there, one of the military guys. I think he the one will be the orator for tomorrow's celebration. Uh,
Who is from where?
uh, One of the military guys by the name of, I think is a Nigerian chief, if I'm not mistaken here that I'm looking at. Nigerian chief of the army staff, Major General Wede Shiabu.
He's
Wede Shiabu has been named as the orator for the 69th Armed Forces Day celebration in Liberia, February 11, 2026. So he's a general and he's the chief of the army staff of Nigeria.
my guess here, without knowing all of the details, in Nigeria, with all of the things, they paid a huge price during the civil crisis. I was just monitoring channels. It's one of my favorite channels, televisions of Nigeria. Very, very informative. And I see senior officials, they are going there to visit former President Ibrahim Babangida. Anybody remembers those days during the civil crisis? He was one of those that who then he was a military leader, and he was in a close ally with the late President Samuel Doe, and he's one of those. In fact, your ECOWAS guy, he was one of the chief architects to initiate the ECOWAS committee, peace monitoring. And I remember when ECOWAS, it come up really landed on that soil, man. Who can run? Who can run? Stay. But we're going to see tomorrow how it looks. My guess, the president going to be taking the 21 gun salute, right?
Apparently.
I hope so. But one other thing that we need to add, the forming of a frontier force came from dominantly the interior of the country. And I can tell you, as a little boy growing up, they used to call them Noko. And I don't know if the state called that army personnel Nokos, because those guys were all in-laws that came from that area and became a part of the frontier force. So Noko in Loma means my in-law. And so we used to go out, and that was the time to really respect.
What do you call Noko, my in-law?
Yeah, brother-in-law. That's what Noko is.
In Loma?
Yes, that's what Noko means. So most of the guys that were recruited for the frontier force were already interrelated through marriages. And when you used to communicate with them, they say, "Oh, I'm on Noko, then I'm on Noko." So they just call them Noko, and that thing just step with them.
We welcome the co-host here.
And that's why people still call them Noko, and we respected them on Armed Forces Day. They were not called Noko on Armed Forces Day. So.
Can we acknowledge the arrival of the co-host, the independent mind of this network?
Oh my God! Yeah, we can recognize him. I sent you guys a video of what's going on in Bella Yara, and I sent it purposely to him so he can see what happened in Bella Yara. Dr. Martin, did you see the video I sent you?
Oh yes, I was impressed.
Correct. Dr. Jules Otavio Malice Senior is LPR education analyst and one of the independent voices among the few on this network.
I don't
Very
know
happy guy, mostly get a guy, get of the faded and flung seditions, try to
Oh
perceive
my God.
as independent. One day he full on his side, the other day he's full here. Dr. Mara, good to have you. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, sitting in for the Libra. But I told them filling in for the Libra does not suggest we're going to be like the Libra. We will be who we are. We have nothing to hide, and we will say it. He's paying wherever he is. But good to have you here. We're just trying to give a little bit brush out and to retrospect the armed forces of Liberia. You being a research guy, you being president armed forces of Liberia. Let's you settle in now. What comes to mind when this day comes into play?
Well, I think the whole thing is copycat, copycat story, because everything is faction in line with Uncle Sam. The system we're running there is copied from Uncle Sam. Even most part of our way of life is copied from Uncle Sam. So you realize that our government structural system is also copied from Uncle Sam. So the armed forces of Liberia, our dress code, the armed forces dress code, is the same copy from Uncle Sam, and it's the same Uncle Sam that sent its personnel to train our people. You see, so the question now is, I don't know what everything that Uncle Sam does. Do we need to copy it in Liberia? And the next thing now is, I've been asking myself, do we really need armed forces in Liberia, or we just need a police force in post-war Liberia? You see, well, I've been asking myself this question for several reasons. Not because other people have it, but sometimes we look at our status post-war Liberia. All right. And if we retrospect when the armed forces was established, look what happened during the war. Look what happened, how the armed forces was used according to some sources. All right. So now we just from war, and then we have 4,000 strength personnel constituting the armed forces of Liberia, 4,000. But the question now is, do we really need the armed forces of Liberia? Do we really need soldiers?
Do you
Or
have
we just
answers?
need a strong police force?
So let's flip the coins around here. This is quite interesting what you're saying. Do you have answer to that?
Who be?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I would prefer, from where we came from, this post-war scenario, I think we need a very strong, formidable police force that we can invest in very seriously, than having an armed force that I really don't see what it is doing. I don't see the relevance. I've been really pondering, because it's like, okay, this is a government. Other people have armed forces, so we also need it. I don't think that should be the argument. No. But we need a very strong police force to keep things under control.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring Terry in most this thing, but quickly here, let's do a little follow-up here. So, based on your sessions or what you are trying to say, then what becomes of the current forces, meaning dissolutions of the armed forces of Liberia, or they will be reintegrated into the other apparatus, security apparatus? What becomes of them? They learn how to manipulate weapons, they know how to operate, they are trained, they are not just ordinary persons. You can't just throw them with ain't uh, integrate them into ordinary society. They have their lifestyle, things that they have done years, they are professional. What becomes of them?
You say asking me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you
Oh
say
yeah,
more.
we get them incorporated. The immigration is necessary. We get them incorporated into the immigration. All right. They have the idea, they have that security idea. The whole thing boiled down security idea.
It done.
All right. We can incorporate them into NSA. We can incorporate them into immigration. It's a question of nomenclature. All right. The highest thing is they have got this idea. Now you have so many security apparatus in our country. You have Ministry of National Security, you have NSA, you have the immigration. Now you have the police. Okay, you have the President's Special Force, sitting in an executive mansion. Well, all those fragmented security arm just having serious burden.
You left the drugs enforcement out?
And the drugs enforcement. All right. So the question now is, I mean, all these things, I mean, this is a big government operation here, a very big government operation. Do we really need the armed forces right now? So we can incorporate these people in all the other era, and we augment the police force and make it much stronger.
Okay. We get, let me get the reactions of these people. Mostly, are you in accordance? Are you a call with Dr. Mali?
No, not close. Not close. You know, as an independent nation since 1847, there was a responsibility to keep that country protected as a sovereign state. Now, you got to understand, Liberia being the first non-colonized independent state on the continent, or the second, but the first non-colonized and the second free nation on the continent, faced a lot of problem with neighboring countries that were not formed at the time. There were wars going on everywhere. So of course they needed to protect themselves. You know, fast forward, like Terry said, in 1900, early 1900, they decided to come with the frontier force. But there was a militant group already established that were there, and they had 2 regiments of the military to protect the interests of the people that were already there. So with the frontier force being formed, and let me just say this, the frontier force were not trained by the U.S. government. They were trained by British government. And the people, there was a guy from Sierra Leone, and I know this because I talked to some historian a while ago, and they didn't have the capacity because they couldn't understand the language. There was serious language barrier because all the people that were picked from the frontier force came from Lofa area. They could understand the Mende a little bit, but then they needed to translate. So they took the guy that were trained by the British government from Sierra Leone to train the frontier force on how to defend the country. And so that's where we're coming from. So for Dr. Mali to sit here and say we don't need it, yes, every nation, every sovereign nation needs a defense force that can protect the country. Police is supposed to protect and serve the community, not serve the borders. That's why you have these different groups, the police, the immigration, and the military. The military duty is to protect the nation against invasion. Anybody from the outside coming in. It's not the police work. Police training is totally different from that. Police training brings about civility in the country, and the police can only do so much. You give them that responsibility. They're not trained in that area. They don't know how to defend the country. They don't know about bomb setting, about strategic planning, and all that stuff. So it's in my own thing. I think the military needs to remain. And it's totally remotely out of context to say get rid of the military and let the police take over. But he's entitled to his opinion. And so I would not back something like that.
Let's take it to Jerusalem. Let's reach to Collins. Collins, today is Tuesday. I think focusing Liberia now is Armed Forces Day. Here we are. Dr. Jones Octavius Malice Sr. is saying AFL should be incorporated to police, immigration, blah, blah, blah. We don't need it. If you guy was a president, can you take a job to advise him?
No, I said that the man don't need to be around the presidency. Because you will be no different from Trump. I'm telling you. He will do things in a way that, he will just select one kind of format, because that the matter is looking at a high level opinion. His opinion is thinking high, and I don't want to disabuse his opinion. That is his way he want a country to look like. I don't know how he's going to derive that analogy, but I think the specificity of the police and the army plays two separate roles that one unit cannot preside over. You just can't. If you want one unit security force to say, okay, you will do investigation, at the same time you will do conventional warfare, at the same time you will ride tankers, at the same time, then you will actually, one person can learn all those things and be able to effectively effectuate it. You can't have border patrol, because they got NSA looking for deep state, all the kind of thing, undercover police. So I think I don't want to dwell on Dr. My opinion most, because this topic we're discussing is about the armed forces of Liberia. But I really think that there's a reason why each security apparatus have specific trainings in specific areas so that they can master that area and focus on it. Even in the military, they got different departments. Like back to the police, they get different departments. So, and I believe the reason why there are various departments is because of the load of their responsibility, that you cannot just give that to one unit. Yeah, in my opinion.
This is LPL. Let's take a quick commercial break. We will come back. When we come back, we're going to capture news in the headlines today.
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.
Good evening. This is Conversation with Samson Tour. And I'm Afonso Z. And so it's 8:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:49 in Jerusalem. Let's come right back here. News making headline. Let's watch this. Courtesy of Focus on Africa in Liberia, the scene, the drama. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. I said downgraded itself. What is the essence? Where are we heading? All of the tons of cases, but the Supreme Court turned the way around. Let's watch this.
This and that, but you don't enter into women private part. When I saw that post with Prefect insulting the Chief Justice mother, that woman can be his grandmother. He insulted my earlier. He insulted Josh Weah, seated president of the country. You are in Morocco for 6 years. Slippery in Joshua man. Now it's slippery in Uma. And also, Josh Weah, Prefect insulted to the end. Yes, you saw it. When Julie brought that case to the court, they swapped it, they said, Prefect brought this rescue government to power. We all brought rescue government to power. Prefect did not bring rescue government to power equal to some of us that spend our money, that spend our time, that were close to the president more than even any other person. You understand? Yes. But that is for another day. But for him insulting the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, it's where I get private. And he, of course, they say I'm man to man. They say this. They say you corrupt. Nobody will get down to come and land here. But you cannot enter into the Chief Justice monochromosome like you are the one that born her. That is against the rule of Liberia as a cultural country.
I think that's the way she did it. I think she's a biology, but she did biology. I think she might be a biology major. Well, that country, I don't know what's going on. That country is a complete mess. So here we are, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, the final arbiters of the justice systems. You have cases upon cases, people seeking answers, they can't get it from the law. But basically prefer to dignify this guy, prefer to downgrade, in my own word, prefer to diminish the higher courts of the land. Turning in the water in jail. When things fall apart, the falcons can no longer hear the falconers. He who rides the back of the alligator goes into the bed of the alligator. I don't know why he becomes a center of gravity to have this sort of conversation. The sitting president, this guy, that his DNA, that his secret weapon, that his and what mean people from in the USA, Liberia, they supported this guy, and he was doing what he was doing. One time, in fact, I interviewed him because I wanted to know why he was doing what he was doing. And I had a conversation with him because sometimes you got to go into the minds of the people. But why in the world the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia will kind of like do what did they say of what? I don't get it. Let me start with you, Moses. If you keep on,
I wanted to say, Esther, are you a Bob Bunny?
Why are you bringing Bob Bunny?
But she said she's from Puerto Rico. She said she in Puerto Rico and she watching her tour. I asked her, what is she with Bob Bunny?
Is traveling. She's traveling. She's chilling.
Yeah, I'm just
Puerto Rico is the place to go now.
Rescue people. Yeah, people who disagree with you. You always get a problem with that. That's not don't mind him. He doesn't have answer to my question. That's why he tried to turn the wheel around here. Oh no, Moses.
Yeah.
Why they sort of less basic? Can the Supreme Court find something better to do? Why would they bring the court to this level? That's not the first time. He went there before. The data. Why? I don't know. Now they're going to find him public defender. What's the point?
And that's the process of the court. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court is not going to complete its duty without finding you a public defender if you cannot afford an attorney on your own. Now, hear what the story is. There are certain things that are limited to certain people, and you cannot use certain words they call in democracy, fighting words against people. Like in the United States, if you go in a theater and you scream fire and everybody jump up and start running, you are held liable. as in now where they call bullying and targeting certain individuals. There's certain things you cannot do on Facebook because you don't think that people see you and you're in the presence and you can do it in the confines of your home. And there are people being prosecuted now for doing some of these things on Facebook. And I think the social media, with the way social media is going now, people say anything they want to say on social media, and they think they can get away with it. I think this is a new precedent being set, especially so when you went after not Bessie, but you name him as the Chief Justice of a country and what have you. And I think Liberia, our justices are too involved with these petty things, and they've diminished the office of Chief Justice to the point that people can point fingers to them. So they have to be blamed also for some of these things going on. But it doesn't give him right to go out there in social media and denigrate the office of the Chief Justice in a way that he's done. And he's going to have his day in court and have a conversation. And I think this is going to become a case law at the end of the road where people will start looking, and it will be used in many other cases to come. So I hope that the justices looking at this process, the proceedings, will be very careful not to make themselves not to be overzealous of prosecuting without sending a stronger message to the general body, to the general population of the Republic of Liberia, because to represent those people, that's our second most powerful branch of government. And that's my feeling about it. It's not that they're taking time off for important things to do that. We know they got a lot of cases. They will always have cases, but this is something that needed to be brought to light so that they can do a case law and try to set something out that nobody can do there moving forward.
Look, Terry, this is why you guys good, and that's exactly what Moses is doing this evening. When they look at the entire justice system and that few people, the elite must be protected, that the justice must be in their favor, what becomes of ordinary Liberians who walk in the streets of Liberia, the country, all over it, and these people, sometimes their civil liberties being abused, and the justice is unable to come to their rescue. But when they are inflicted, then the justice takes place. Terry, let me just bring
very important. Can I say something real quick before Terry come in?
You want to file in protest with my argument?
No. It's very funny that you say that when you talk about there are few people who, when there's something happened to them, you got to understand, precedents are set, especially with the justice system, based on occurrences of offensive thing and event. Today, before, bullying was not a crime, really. Bullying was not a crime, but now,
when the bullying be a crime under this rescue government, or what?
I'm not talking about this rescue government. I'm talking about worldwide. I'm talking about something.
You see, everything we do,
Mr. So, just listen to me for a second. Everything we do, we have to look at other places and copy what works for us. We cannot live in exclusion. We cannot live in exclusion. There are a lot of bullying going on. So hopefully this will set the precedent for people to start looking in those directions and say this can be a crime too.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from. That's how the judicial system works.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And that's the work of you guys, to always soften and do some...
No, not soften.
To do evening dressing here. But I'm being very specific here. I'm talking about justice being holistic and not being beneficiary to the few. There were a lot of Liberians, a lot of other people, and I do know these things have a psychological impact. So different human infliction that comes with it. But my question is, when the ordinary people who suffer similar thing, when they were left vulnerable, when they grieve, when they manage to overcome their own psychological infliction, but only people, the elite, the few people who are policy and decision maker, when you turn on them, then they begin to make justice to work. That's what I'm talking about. But Terry, let me hear you.
Yeah, Mr. So the thing is, It's a precedent case I think the Chief Justice is trying to set. I think it's a precedent case. And it's worrisome too, like what you're saying, because like what Mr. Segwe is saying, I don't understand it because there has to be a law. The Chief Justice cannot act without a law. He have to find a law that will give him the right to persecute Prophet Key for using those kind of words on him. He have to find the crime. I hear people reading a contempt of court that you can be persecuted because the judiciary cannot create their own law. So if there's a law that protect Prophet Key for using those kind of expressions, then it means that if freedom of speech determined that he should use those kind of expression, then he walks scot-free. But if freedom of speech don't give him the right to use those kind of expression on the Chief Justice, then the thing here is that then he's gonna be persecuted for his statement made. And that's gonna be a precedent case that is gonna set. But what it's doing too on the other side is that it's bringing more attention to Prophet Key. Is bringing a public outcry because there are two forces that are divided here. One group of people are saying that Prophet Key did this in the past and nobody recognized him. He
Do you
did
agree
this
with,
in the past.
do you agree with that? Quickly before we proceed. Do you agree
Yes,
with that? He did it in the past?
I do agree with that because he did it in the past, including Yeke Koluba, and nobody checkmate them. They were never checkmated. They were never called out. They were never persecuted. No court, you know. They were they all walked scot-free.
Do you know who he did it to?
Yeah, he did it to a lot of people,
Who?
including the
A lot
former
of people.
president.
Who?
Including the former president.
Who? There are a lot of
The
former
former
presidents.
president and his wife, former President George Manawia.
Okay.
In my opinion, you got many words, you can use many words that are harsh to express your anger and your dissatisfaction with a leadership. You don't have to use, you don't have to use certain kind of expression, especially for the giving culture we find ourselves. But again, there are political figures that carve their own narrative and people gravitate to them based upon their perception. In my opinion, is that if anything you're doing, you should understand that you must be able to do it within the confine of the law. Because if one decide to use the law against you and you do not have a protection against to help you, you will be persecuted for your action. So it doesn't mean because other people did not persecute him, and if another person decide to persecute him now, that does not mean that that person do not have the right to do that. The only thing here that we must look at is people are divided and they have the right to be divided because people are saying this man did it before and nobody did anything to him. So now JMB government, if he do something to this man, then it means that it does not show transparency because that is public opinion, but public opinion is not law. Public opinion is just people's perception of how they feel about the situation. You see, I think that the Chief Justice is trying to set precedent, but within the precedent he's setting, he could also cause another chaos, in a sense, to attract more attention on him. Like what happening now? The public opinion people are saying, Mr. Chief Justice, you got a lot of cases on your desk that you should have addressed, but you refuse to address them. But you're looking for this other young man on the other side. And here is the thing that Prophet Key that I think Prophet Key, yeah, here is the thing that I think Prophet Key is shooting himself in the leg. He even went out the few days to go against the speaker. He went all out against the people that are supposed to help you. You cannot be going against them. So if the Chief Justice now decide to do something to you, how can you go to the Speaker of the House to talk for you? How can you do that now?
Why is he going
I
to be
heard you were
speaking on
talking.
top for him?
I heard you were talking about because there's a possibility that if he channel his grievances through the house, they could impeach the
You're
chief
kidding me?
justice if the chief justice goes against the law of the country because the chief justice cannot have the right to something.
Okay.
But
What?
Mr. Let me finish your
if
point.
you already
Go ahead.
if you already say negative things against the speaker of the house, how do you expect these people to fight for you when you are formed when you get trapped? So I think he's between a rock and a hard place.
The rock and a hard place. Let me come to Dr. Mali to put it in the context. It's a convoluted one. I listen to Moses, I listen to Terry, trying to restructure, trying to compare, contrast, and drawing a conclusion. But where the being convoluted is the counsel to the president. I spoke on that. So I'm waiting to see how the executive and the judiciary, what are they going to, if the judiciary take decisions on Prophet Key, what are the executive that has to execute? Tim Power will execute him by going there because Bushu Bang said, as far as he's concerned, it's not a crime that his free speech. You cannot do this. So the executive took a definitive position in the past. But Dr. Mali, speak to this here because it's very much important. With respect to what is happening, this is quite interesting. We have people in our diplomatic enclave watching, seeing what is unfolding. See how the Supreme Court was engulfed today. People leaving their businesses, the full bench in seating for this guy when there are other people who seeking justice of their dead, alleged corruption cases. You have only one corruption case. They don't have judges to execute all of this. But here we are, such a one were expedited within a short time frame. So what's going on?
Well, I think the two panelists are completely off the rail here, particularly Moses, the security analyst. We are, like what the CEO said, there are so many things happening, but there are more questions than answers in this place. If the thing result of Prophecy going behind bar, it will not be supported by the Western world. We'll have to decide what do we want. If we're going by the Western world and protecting freedom of speech, then we should be tolerant to freedom of speech. But here is the thing. I've been reading the newspaper in Liberia, about 5 of them. This man is being held in contempt of court. It is ambiguous. It's not clear in the newspaper. Held in contempt of court for what? For insult? That is not being answered. Held in contempt of court. No. Held in contempt of court for obstructing the laws of the proceeding of the Supreme Court. It's not clear. So the question now is, he's held in contempt of court. Fine. For what? So that one aspect. The second aspect here is that, like what the CEO said, they may be up and running in Liberia there. At one point, he was even hooked. And the same people decided to circumvent justice and calling here, calling there for the men to go this and that and what have you. You see, we cannot be playing this type of game. We gotta be, the law is clear. We have freedom of expression and freedom of speech in that country. And if you read our law, you are here responsible for your own freedom of speech. But crossing the line now, because the Chief Justice will have difficult time convincing me in the West that, oh, you insult my man, and so I owe you a contempt of court. Which part of our freedom of speech the guy obstructed? Which part of the law the guy have undermined? He's expressing his view. We have classified it as profanity. Does the law classify it as profanity? There where now the Chief Justice will have to prove to us that yes, the profanity the government using in the freedom of speech, this portion qualify it, and so he in contempt of court, he gonna go to jail. Least we forget, this case has got a own political component. Liberia is fragile. Putting people in jail right now, they're going to have a bad public relation reflection on the Unity Party. The government in Liberia has not put a politician in jail, neither a social media stroke, a journalist in jail. All right? It will not look good on the part of His Excellency for people to start going to jail right now with all the other problems there. Two, I thought the Supreme Court would have called Prophet Key for a conversation. This is what the Supreme Court, I think, should have done. Because when you start using those technical legal terminology, that's a serious business. Content. You see, to get yourself losing from there, it becomes a problem. And Prophet Key too, he looking for glory. He wants for the hanger to go on his hand before the door of the Supreme Court, raising his hand as a hero. That will not look too good for the government. It'll be a promotion for Prophet Key. So the question now is the merit and the demerit. Let's look at the merit. Does it really merit the Prophet Key operation? No, not at all. Can we ignore it? Yes. Can we just classify it as freedom of speech? Good. All right. Should we go after it? It will become a difficult thing for the Supreme Court, because now where the Supreme Court is sitting down now, it like I think they have gone more emotional now. They may you see how that woman was talking. They are adding to the flame in the town there right now. They may be causing women and the other one. And so will justice rather prevail for Prophet Key? The question is no. But here is another thing. 2019, we had the Abdullah Kamara Act of Press Freedom. All right? That also supposed to support press freedom in Africa for journalists. And the media people, like the social media, they are all grouped into the journalism group now. A Prophet Key, a journalist. That's another question going to be challenged. Is it a social media? Who is this guy? We got to define this guy and put him in a proper perspective so that justice will take flight. Is he a politician? You see? So I don't even know who Prophet Key is right now. Lastly, the 207 Declaration of the Table Mountain, okay, also promote press freedom that support media too. So Prophet Key has got three components that's supposed to defend it in our place, apart from the freedom of speech in our Constitution. You see? So the Chief Justice got to be very careful, because there's so like what the men of God said. This is not the first time. They may have been causing a lot of people in our place there. Had the Chief Justice come out one day, like CEO said, oh man, come, we want to have a conversation with you. Come, we want to have. That is even more easier than telling someone contempt of court. That's much serious. So it's going to be a landmark case. All the foreign ambassadors down there are going to be sitting alert to sit and see what really going to happen. And Prophet Key is going to march in Liberia majestically. All right? But traditionally, Prophet Key, now, from where we come from as a people, his expression doesn't go down well.
They men are co-hosts, so yes. I think we're just gonna listen to him now.
Oh,
you guys.
I just try to unloosen these things.
Yeah.
Traditionally, Prophet Key might go to jail because those kind of things, they don't work through all our system to be causing women, and not a normal thing. But politically, and in the 21st century, we can group it into freedom of expression, and he's not supposed to go there. Thank you.
All right. This is LPR. The conversation is on the way. Okay, this is the Liberia Public Radio. The conversation is on. Let's just bring you this developing news coming from another African country. According to France 24, Senegal ordered the university a closure following student death during a massive protest in Dakar. Look, what is happening right now is sad.
Wow.
Don't be surprised in time to come when the Supreme Court of Liberia, the State Department, will potentially come on then waiting to. And what they are doing, they are just paving the way for this guy to be maybe representative, senator, and that's how we elect people. And the political relevance is what he's seeking. The political attention is what he's seeking to justify his argument, telling Liberian people, I told you I can fight for you. I talk where people can't talk. I say what people can't say. The electorate is not that sophisticated. They always side. They are sympathetic. They don't cut between the lines. They don't judge. They don't investigate. They empathize with people, all of that. And so this is what this guy is wishing for. This is what this guy is wishing for. And it would be dangerous when the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, the final justice habitat of the country, that when it goes into human rights and a State Department report because of whatever reason people act on emotions and they feel otherwise, or the authority is in it. That's exactly what he's looking for. And apparently he got what he won. This is where our political leaders, Moses, your leaders, your people, the lack of you are one of the panelists. I'm calling your name because you're my friend. You used to be in Rhode Island, you left, you went Delaware, not because you're on the other side of the eye. I'm here. So on a serious note, our people lack of political tolerance is one of the things they act now. The counsel to the president. He said the last time around, he said it's not a crime. Now, how can you reconcile those things? People causing, people doing this, not a crime. Now, another branch of government, whether it's a prosecution or persecution, we don't know why it is, because there's no clear cut ball as to what they're going to do, what the crime going to be like. Now, how can they navigate through that? Before you come quickly. Why people do not have the guts? Why somebody on that bench didn't say, yes, chief, I know this is so, but there's a way that it can be done. But to have all of those people to sit down and send a letter out of the crack of the court to send a letter. And then he went fleeing, went boasting, because that's the publicity, that's the attention he was looking for, to validate his talking point, to justify what he has been doing. I told you, I was fighting for your AOC, I'm talking now. This is what the people want to do. So they fall in the trap of this guy to just put in, to elevate his political quest. Now he tried to run the last time around, they did something, and that's why he's going to be making the argument. This is why they don't want me to go in the Senate. This is why they don't want to go. They don't want me to go in the rep, because I will not agree with that. This is sad. We're going to be opening the lines to get reaction from our audience as well. But quickly here, is Bese having a second thought? You think? I think. Do you think Executive Mansion going to call?
No, I don't think they're. I don't think the executive management should get involved with this. This is a total, no, seriously, this is a total branch of the government that, and people are supposed to work independently. The judiciary needs to do its job independently. You see, wait a minute now. Mr. Soul.
I'm just trying to illustrate the point.
You see the kind of double standard?
Huh?
We can get a chance to learn. You see the kind of double standard you playing here tonight?
What double standard? Because this thing, let me just say this.
You said the executive can get involved. The last time Prophet Key happened.
No, they
What happened to the
cannot.
executive?
They're
What
not
happened?
supposed to. Because
But
in
you
my
never
opinion,
spoke against it.
listen, because they've done it before. If they were wrong, that doesn't mean they do it again.
But these people were there.
If it
These
was
people
wrong,
were there.
listen now. If it was wrong the first time, stay wrong the second time. So you can't do this. And listen now. Wait a minute, Dr. Mali. Hold on for a
Okay,
second.
go ahead.
Because you do the wrong thing over and over doesn't make it right.
That's why I said, where were you?
I was right here.
Okay, thank you.
And I didn't. And I don't know what you're talking about.
You
When
never spoke
said
against it.
What?
You never spoke against it. Now you're
Against
speaking against it
what?
today.
What are you talking about?
The CEO can back me up.
What
Even
you
the Reverend can
talking
back me
about?
up. You never spoke against it.
Against what?
The Reverend,
Against
the Reverend-
executive interfering with the judiciary.
I
By
told
keeping
you.
Prophet Key.
No. I told you. We go back and watch the show. I told you when you're talking about the fire thing. I told you the executive should not
We're
have
not talking
any
about the
rights
fire
to do
thing.
with
We're
that.
talking about Prophet Key.
I don't know nothing about Prophet Key before this case.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know what he was going to court for. I don't even know if he went to court before.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you,
Let
I
me
do
open
not.
the phone line.
If you go back and check the case, when you guys discussed Prophet Key initially, I wasn't a part of the discussion. No, seriously.
Oh.
This is the first time I know that
So
Prophet Key.
you don't know about the story where one of the legal advisors took a phone when Prophet Key case was in one court, and they took a phone
No.
and they called for the
Seriously.
case to drop. You don't know about that?
No, I don't know about that. I never discussed it on the show.
We'll get a message in womb.
Can
No,
you raise
go
your
look at the show.
Can you really raise your right hand?
My right hand is raised. In fact,
Brother
both of
Reverend,
them.
you know what? Be a regime speaker. Oh my goodness.
No. Brother Saul, seriously, I was not on the show for that discussion. And I have no clue what you guys talking about.
Okay.
The Reverend can even bear me up. Now, what I'm saying here is that, Dr. Mali, you have mentioned that this is going to hurt the Unity Party. And I'm going to say to you that the judiciary is not an elected force. The judiciary works independent of the executive and the legislators. So at no point what the judiciary does should affect the legislator or the political party. Because by right, that's not supposed to happen. But we know the practice in Liberia is not real democracy. We've seen that before. And let me just say this. Like I said earlier, every case of the unusual usually set case laws. So the practices that goes on in the court, the proceedings that go on in the court is either violation of the Constitution or because of the procedure, it becomes case law that people can refer to. That's what I said. That's what I was saying earlier. But if you don't have a constitution, and like Mr. Mali read, they said they held him into contempt. You have to do something to be held in contempt. You have to refuse a court order, or you have to be very deliberate in the courtroom for the judge to hold you contempt of court. But I don't know what the charges really are with Prophet Key. I'm not too interested in it. I'm just looking at the proceeding and what they're going to set for the future of our country and what it means for freedom of speech and who do you prosecute and who do you not prosecute. I will tell you a case in Florida. There was a young kid at home in the bed, and he told his friends, and they challenged him. He said, I'm going to take this pill, and I'll go to sleep. I will never wake up.
Okay.
And those kids watch him.
Tell us, can you go to the phone line quickly, Moses?
On the TV screen, on what you call it, on Zoom. And this kid took this medicine, these pills, went and lied down in the bed, and he never really woke up. It was one of the kids that went to the president, told their parents, say, this kid just took a bunch of pills, and he said he was going to go to sleep. And by the time they called 911, the kid was dead. That became a case, a nationwide case that needed to be prosecuted. They were debating whether to prosecute those kids for sitting there and watching this kid on social media. That's what I'm going about the social media thing.
Okay, let's go to the phone line here. This caller 475 number 950 now. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from? And I'll go back to the live view. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So this is Wilson calling from Connecticut.
Connecticut.
I'd like to say hi to.
But why the number can't have CDC? What kind of number is that?
Oh my goodness! Why are you giving word to? Don't give word to a hard time, Vicky.
I don't know how many phone numbers this guy.
The man was a decoy. The man didn't want you to tell them they want to be reverend.
Thank you so much, Mr. So you see the level of hypocrisy we talk about every night and then that frustrates some of us that support President Weah. You know, it was good yesterday, it's bad today. It was something that the legal advisor said Mr. Segme does not know or pretend not to know. The legal advisor to the president, his name is Bushu Ben Keita. He picked up phone after Judy Andy was insulted, denigrated. She took her case to the court. While the case was in court, this man went to court. Bushu Ben Keita was advised by the president to pick up phone to call a certain judge and the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia to dismiss the case because of the Table Mountain Declaration and the Abdullah A. Kamara Act, something that abolished this or incriminating people for free speech. He explained to the man, do you know that people are not held responsible for their speech? Why are you trying to prosecute a man in the name of Liberian government? Dismiss the case. And I had like a walk off free. And Judy Andy said she was taking the case to the Supreme Court. Nobody listened to her. Not even the Supreme Court listened to her. Today, we see the same thing happening and people trying to back it. Let's be honest here, my people. This government is not proceeding rightly. The same president, or the same people, where with the narrative of President we are in Jupo are dedicating the market and say people continue to cause his their man, his wife, and other things. Anybody causing, they will now walk in the street of Monrovia. The media carry it.
The Chinese phone off.
Because you know about that doesn't mean everybody know. I have no clue about what you're talking.
Go ahead quickly so somebody else will talk.
The political theory, because some of the things that will confirm your own can help us. We know we have we know the game. So it's good like that. But at least we got take to play back and see you and other people.
Absolutely.
For some of the things.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Aaron, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So, I'm here.
Okay.
How you doing?
Good evening. Good to have you. Let's hear you.
So, you see, this is the hypocrisy that we always talk about with these people who support this government. You know the reason why Moses is sitting on the show talking, Mr. Moses is sitting on the show with all due respect, talking about the case that she set a precedent. Now they don't need perfect key. When the leader perfect key went to go to Lima County and disrupt the senatorial election, the vice president, look at that statement that he made. The vice president was the one who ordered perfect key release with the GDND case, right? So if the Supreme Court claimed that the judicial branch is a separate branch from the executive, we all know, right? Why was the vice president and the deputy speaker sitting in the press conference from the chief justice? Why are they sitting in that press conference? Are they part of the judiciary? Are they part of that branch of government? It just sounds so ridiculous. I mean, but, you know, I'm not in support of Prophet King. If they lock him up, I don't even care. They can lock him up.
You one person and say, you bring the government to power, the government is nothing to you. So now they don't leave him alone. So they will treat him like they want to treat everybody else that they don't need. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the reactions of ordinary Liberians. Terry, where are we with this? Where are we with this whole thing? How long can they pursue this? Is it a good thing?
Well,
Is it good for, and I know you might not like it, but I have to incite this. Is it good for the president? Because at the end of the day, the nomination was made by the president. And that's why sometimes people wonder, because before you give people something, see whether they are in line with your ideology, how the reform, especially such a place, the tolerance, the changes that have. I'm wondering whether there was a lengthy discussion. Was there anything at any time that, oh, maybe the Prophet Key insulted you? Because they were always hanging with Prophet Key. Yeah, I mean, they always hanging Prophet Key, but nothing is guaranteed with him. You were here today, if tomorrow if you can't get his call, you don't. But let me get this Tabata man here, rescue, so-called rescue uncle, then I will bring you because maybe it's something. Clarence David, rescue uncle.
Hey,
Let me hear you. What you say? He broke the law?
I have 3 key points to discuss with you tonight concerning the topic under discussion. One, I hate people again who are very dishonest. The Chief Justice is very dishonest. Let's be frank to say this. Very dishonest in a sense. There was a Chief Justice that recommended his son to be one of the judges. I think that's the beginning of the year. Yeah. And because of the public outcry, they withdraw that nomination. And I think one of the Chief Justice on the base on the court and he's not bringing the corruption allegation. Because they got a scene here like Bureau Palon and say the brief I can display the chicken can come from behind. But they keep accusing the Chief Justice of getting a hotel on the land. The spirit that had been between the Magingo and the man and girl people in Uganda. Just a bit of money out. Prophet Key is bringing the thing up. And the Chief Justice is not giving Prophet Key in a court to say, oh, you bring him in a court because he alleged or wrong. Although we know follow that for some of the cause your mother is people. But most of the corruption cases that you are being alleged to, and he don't blame the corruption cases when they're based about Marcos. If this is justice that we are talking about, this is that if the Chief Justice will come back to say that the entire Supreme Court bench has been called, the prosecutor calls the entire Supreme Court bench, mother? No. So if the Chief Justice wants to get prosecutor to court to me, to sue prosecutor in civil law court, this is a civil matter instead of the Supreme Court presiding over the case. So when he recused himself, again, for somebody else to preside as a judge over the case. And you see how everything you do in life and how I had a consequence. We just last year, Department report keep up human rights. And these people are sent by the country, that men trying to exercise power. I didn't see it right. Protecting in support of protecting abusing people matter. The right thing is done if you know that abuse your mother or cause your mother, sue Pateki and the recuse yourself and get there to go and get there to find a lawyer to represent you. But you won't be the judge, you won't be the accuser. Which one can we listen to? I don't see it here. And my second point here tonight, I'm sorry that you didn't bring a discussion on board. The GSC brought a report about the executive marshal. They said the very first time in the history of Liberia for the office of the president to be auditor. And this is not that the media and the brand are talking because they know that when they talk about it, it will be the promotion of the rescue government.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think these are important things that we're supposed to be discussing. People are talking about Protective, not very irrelevant. Protective was the one that was a story about the death of the auditor on Broad Street. The recording was given from Pastor Key. Beside that, when the EPS was here in Canada, Pastor Key was the same person that read that story. So are we saying regardless about the Marco, you're not ready in the society? No. Everybody, their pastor singer say everybody get their area. So what's about the city lawmaker? You can talk about the abuse of the former president, right? Abuse of the former vice president. Abusing the present president. So and he a boss alone. So I think like people to be fair to some of these discussion. The prophecy is wrong. I'm not encouraging for prophecy abusing the environment. But what is right belong, don't put it right there. So if you try to have a corruption cases, you put it on your mark or there was a corruption allegation. Thank you for the show, CEO.
So is that a rescue chief justice or they want you not rescue chief justice?
Let's see, the appointment of Yami Bessie as a chief justice, I was not in support of him. Yami Bessie was appointed by John Weir.
So, no, I mean, what?
Yami Bessie was appointed on the Supreme Court by John Weir.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Supreme, they're talking about the chief justice right now. They're not.
Listen,
you talking about his path to the chief justice, that why you want to hold responsible or what?
Yeah, because what I'm trying to say here, he was on the Supreme Court bench.
I understand. I'm saying.
He was on the Supreme Court bench when Prophet Key used to abuse the former president, the wife, and the former vice president. Nothing they said about it.
Okay.
But because the chief justice today was for the little case that they took to the court.
Okay.
Are we seeing that all these people be abusive? They are not important, so it's not of course. It's a one of some people.
So do you think, so quickly, do you think now President Joseph Boyka is aware of all of what you are saying? For example, he was on the bench, we are putting there, understandable, and all of these things go on. Do you think there was an extensive confirmation? Because and the reason I'm asking, the president came with a clear-cut agenda in terms of doing things differently. We're going to see the justice systems and everything new. I'm not saying, I'm not going to hold into the fire, everything might be 100%, but they are key things. They are very strategic thing when you put in people there. Those people, it's literally like a lifetime position. You must have an extensive conversation with that person in terms of what he or she brings to the table, how they're going to help. Do you think the president's scratching your head is kind of even with what's going on with Bessie?
To me, the person is regretting the appointment of Yami Bessie because, Mr. So don't be very frank and look at the truth here. They had thousands of cases down there. They decided the major corruption cases. Seeing them men were appointed as a chief justice, which are the cases that they bring out the corruption? No. So if you use, because you're using the state police to go down there to support, you saw the ERU was there today.
Yeah.
And any other security apparatus that you bring it in, it's another extra expense on the state. Okay. So because of your Marcos, most of these corruption cases that all brought money back in the government cover, in the pocket of Nigeria, you pay that year to air, then you take the Marcos to bring to the Supreme Court bill. What seems to be?
Thank you so much.
So I'm not in support of Bessie. To me, to get to more people can talk about because the leader coming from your country. I'm not that type of advocate to say, because chief justice comes from my country. Chief justice comes from my country, not putting bread on the table of people table. We're talking about justice that everybody will be free and agree with my God,
rescue.
Use that for my family.
Rescue, uncle.
But, yeah.
Don't care your blood pressure, okay?
No, but we are free because
every time you say something, the best story.
No, I don't want nobody find lawsuit here that they go to somebody blood pressure, cholesterol go up and things like that.
No, go and see, but the one that they think are
Rescue 3, Rescue 3. Okay, Rescue 3, thank you.
And before you go, the reason this is what people don't know. talk show is quite different from somebody running a program. They don't know.
Right.
Talk show hosts, they are ruthless.
Yeah.
They say it, they don't verify, they don't ask, they don't need to go to anybody to say anything they want. They are more or less propagandists. They are more or less to magnify, to create chaos. When you see a way that they turn it around and all of that. So it's different. What he does is because he's a talk show.
Yes,
I'm not gonna.
please, let me bring something to your attention, please.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All the corruption cases that they are leaving it all, they are only after main cases what demolition is going on. Are they trying to make the government unpopular with the people?
We shall ask you.
Because when we have most of the corruption cases, they pay that year, okay? The only cases now that they are control the routine is a land case, then demolition.
Rescue 3.
I mean,
Rescue 3.
they
Do
wanted
you
to
know how long those land cases were in the court for?
Yeah, we do.
Do
Dr.
you
Mare,
know how long those land cases?
the rescue people fighting.
Mr. So I want to come in, man. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Wait. Karen, don't go rescue your rescue. Your rescue. Rescue. Somebody rescue.
Rescue 2.
Yeah, let's go to rescue everybody else. Let's hear you, Terry. What you want to say to rescue
no, I
uncle?
just wanted to say no. I wanted to just say when the Supreme Court is slow on your case, it means that there is a pile of cases that the guy working on.
Yeah, we
And
go.
some of those cases that we're talking about, those land cases that you're talking about, they've been in court for years. And the people, the time has come to adjudicate them.
That they said that kid, since 2017, the ruling came on 2020. In 2020, that means basically put on the Supreme Court bench for 2023.
But Yami Bese, what you need? Yami Bese,
Rescue the people.
Rescue 3. Listen now,
The people gotta pay for our airtime.
I know. We're here. We can't.
Yes,
look,
people they brought headed to us, and when we talk it, then they get upset, and they say, "Then we do not like this. Is what it is." So the rescue uncle, rescue 2. I don't know. Y'all need to call Liberal. Liberal can't even come here. This is a program here, but he can't come here. I get into to say, but let's hear Terry. We'll wrap up.
Yes. So, Mr. So, all those cases that man talking about, those people do not just adjudicate cases because they know the government bring case, so they're going taking and be running with it. No, they got cases on the docket that they got to clear first before they start dealing with other cases that's coming. So we got to get that. And if your government is slow in lobbying the judiciary, your government. Wait now, let me speak back. No, Dana, first of all, listen now.
Why this guy?
Listen now. Listen, give chance for us to speak. First of all here is that no, Supreme Court is not working for you. Supreme Court is working for the country. They're not working for you. Bese Jackie, you just put Bese in that place. That place was ran by Jowia, Chief Justice. That was not Bese that were there. That Jowia Chief Justice were there. So obviously there are some cases, there are some things she intentionally delayed. And you and I know that, we understand that. Bese just taking over. And there are cases already on Supreme Court deck that they need to look at. If Bese start dealing with case abruptly, everybody will say that, oh, the government, the president is using the judiciary against the people to witch hunt. So the cases that the man got on the docket, you have to deal with it. But here's the thing I wanted to say. I wanted to say a few things here. The Chief Justice, is not under the executive branch. So as a result, when the previous time when that man called that time, or when he need Buju Bank, when he called, it was supposed to be in the woman Judy Andy. She had the right to file and to take an appeal to the Supreme Court. She did not. She was in the lower court, I think the magistrate court. Because Buju, that guy do not have the right to call a judge, a certain judge, to determine a case. He don't have the power to do that. So, because he's under a different branch of government. The judiciary is under a different branch of government. In this case, it is the Chief Justice himself. So this falls not on President Bokar. It's not on President Bokar authority. President Bokar, as we speak, does not have the power to call Chief Justice and say, Chief Justice, this is what you're supposed to do. He don't have the power. Even the Bantu or whatsoever, those lawyers, when they call that time, if Judy Andy would have taken an appeal to the Supreme Court were going to hear the matter. Because and lastly, Mr. Sewell, under this president, if even something happened, God forbid, that I'm not praying for, because I think this particular thing, Prophet Key was not supposed to be called to the Supreme Court at all. If you ask me my opinion, the man have the freedom to speak. But if something happened and he do go to jail, it will be done on the basis of the judiciary, not on the executive. The president, right now we get a Gosden William that sits on the radio and abuse the president man. Not the president man per se, but he abuses and say all kinds of things. Nobody paying no man. There are other people in the country that can sit down on the radio and abuse the president, talk all kinds of things. The war scot-free. That could have never happened during Jawia time. We saw what happened during Jawia time with Terry Ayure, with Henry Costa, with Yeke Koluba. Even Prophet Key, he was in exile doing that thing. All the way you were doing was in exile, you were afraid to come to the country. But under this administration, Prophet Key can be cited by the law and go to court, and the judge tell him, say, oh yeah, my man, he say, oh, I'm your lawyer, judge, I will get you lawyer. He walk back, get in your car and go back home and sleep peacefully. That could have never happened 6 years ago. So there are two different things we're looking at here. Completely different administration, two different approach. This government is approaching responsibly. That is completely different from what we see in previous time.
Wow.
I just wanted to put that there.
Another Tabata from Minnesota. I think the ice people gone on. So we hear the real Tabata there.
I stay here.
Let's hear Dr. Toto, and we will be going to the fields to start wrapping up. Dr. Toto, I hear you.
Yeah, first of all, let me greet you and greet the gentleman in studio. Just to discuss on the issue tonight, I'm a little bit disappointed, the way you wish the justice system went on today in our country.
Disappointed in who? Don't can't do salad dressing here.
It's a justice system.
The justice system in the judicial branch of government. The issue of Prophet Key, I don't think even Prophet Key is supposed to reach that level of discussion. To cite it. That carry some of the incidents that occur in our country on the past leadership. People say they watched them with previous government, and nobody will ever cite or some of them will fail or some of them will bar authority that will render against the government. And the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, he had been an associate justice for some time ago. And he been in the justice system, and he see all the things. And I don't know what probably the particular case, what type of precedent that he want to set. I think if all the Supreme Court want to set a precedent for such occurrence, that will help our country and want to preach the morality bill. They should leave it with the legislators to pass law. Like if you sought the president or you sought the chief justice, it will be that will fail to law, you fail to pay far. We are seeing other countries around the world that do such a thing. In Egypt, in Turkey, in other countries, even or Uganda. Yeah, Thailand, they are passed a law in the country that if you come on social media, you saw the head of state or the president or government official, you go to jail. Those are laws. So I think the justice is supposed to give that money to the legislature to see that they pass a law. So that every time to be citing people, if you come here, if another Prophet Key come here, cause they will cite that person to come again. That's how we do it over every time. I think it's wrong. I think it was misguided. See that way onto our country, and that's supposed to be even discussed in the public domain to be for the one look at it.
Oh, all right. So you are disappointed, you say?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I do not condone prophetic behavior or to insult anybody in Liberia to the country at home. But for it to reach the level of the Supreme Court, to reach that level, and bypass all the circuit code, the civil code, and all the things to reach the Supreme Court to that higher level of arbitration of our country, to me, it's sadly my heart.
Well, this other case, it got an easy pass, so nobody can understand. Okay, thank you so much. All right, folks, that does it. Let's come to the field. Dr. Mali, before we close here, you listen to all of these Tabata, Dr. Toto coming, I'm disappointed. Terry went on a long laundry list. They working from this, they want to do this, that. Is that what they have to offer?
It just sad tonight that they rescue children and great grandchildren will be our lockerhead tonight. And I'm sure they're going to be our more lockerhead. And I'm also surprised at Dr. Toto.
Oh, he's the most ridiculous guy next to the level.
Dr. Toto is surprised, but meanwhile, they forgot to know that we have a government in place. So Dr. Toto is surprised at the government. And he needs to be very emphatic about that. All these things are happening under a government. And that government is His Excellency. And Dr. Toto, he holding by his tongue on that, as well as the rescue children and great-grandchildren who are our lockerhead tonight. But here is the point. Okay, that move the causing part from there, because the women there now, they are putting the thing on flames in Liberia, like what you just show here. Okay? Which of course I don't support, because we come from a certain traditional setting. But politically, and if we want to fall in line with the 21st century way of governance, as we have copied from the United States, like what Terry said, too many people are insulting President Boakai in Liberia there. Too many people on the air, in the social media, this and that. You see? But I think every stretch, very important thing here. This guy has been going a lockerhead with the Chief Justice of Liberia. Why the Chief Justice now is using the whole bench to dignify and solidify his attack on Prophet Key? Why? That injustice right there.
Abuse of power.
Yes, that's an abuse, gross abuse of power. Prophet Key did not address the entire bench. He addressing the Chief Justice. So it is the Chief Justice fight versus Prophet Key. So bringing the whole bench in, that alone, that abuse of power right there. Okay, but let's take the profanity part out. Ever just said the issue of corruption. All right. Do we have in our laws, when you're a Chief Justice, you're not supposed to have hotel, businesses running? Is it conflict of interest? Let's focus on those things now. Do we have those things in our law? Because Prophet Key is rather doubling down on corruption. You see, and conflict of interest have got some of the traces. This man have got a hotel sitting down, he's doing business. Whether he paying taxes, nobody even knows. Whether he has created employment for Liberians in that place, nobody knows. So the question now is, he even went as far as putting his son on a pedestal for employment. You see? So is the guy rather in the interest of justice, in the interest of this country? You see? Prophet Key will rather, he will rather get his day in court, but actually I see a foul play already. Because this thing is Prophet Key versus the Chief Justice. It's not Prophet Key versus the entire bench. So why is the entire Supreme Court holding the ball in contempt? Why? You see? And lastly, I think it will be an experience for Joseph.
In contempt of what?
Like what his name? Terry said, under that Terry of Moses, the judiciary, the people work hand in hand. That's how government is run.
Yeah, but when you see him, they got is
right? listen now, on a book, it's not supposed to happen. Behind closed door, we are not there. That's how government is run. All right? Busu Ben Keita took his phone. He did not take his phone on the social media.
Why you keep
He did not take his phone. No, he did not take his phone. He did not take his phone through LBS. It was behind closed door, a leak, and we all heard it. So the people that work hand in hand. But this case is not in the best interest of the rescue government.
You
So
think
the
the
rescue government should go behind the scene
the president
and the justice to let this thing go.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
All right. So,
And
guys,
no. See you lastly. The men of God were talking about we are time. There's so many things happening in we are time. All these things happening now, they happen in we are time. We are did not put anybody in jail. He did not go to court with nobody. All right? He just let it go. The same thing happening right now. People say now, as they say they couldn't come to Labrador because we'll grab them, will do something to them. There's no evidence. It's the same they say, I say in our country.
Circumstantial, that's horrible.
Yeah,
It's
it's an all circumstantial thing. I have not read that before, where we are threatening some people that when you get to the airport, you will be arrested. Martin is sitting down in Europe making a case. Jason Barker gave his job to come. He said he can't come, he fear for his life. We have an open system down there where you fear for your life. Say you fear your own shadow. So I challenge that part.
Okay.
We
So,
are
Dr.
not
Mali,
anybody in jail.
So point of information. So you didn't hear we are saying that Talia Ure to be flocked, and Talia Ure were brutalized prior to the elections in district number 15. You didn't see that one video.
No, it's not in the human rights report. We are talking about facts.
What you call it? Not in the human rights report. You want me to bring it now?
God.
No,
The car was damaged and everything.
The human rights report.
God.
No. Our argument should be based on what Uncle Sam said.
Our argument is based on what happened in Liberia in our country.
It's not in, okay. If it's not in the human rights report, then it's not concrete. It's not concrete.
This is where some of our frustration
It's
comes
not
in.
in the human rights report, and so it's not concrete. It's not dignified.
So on video, it's not concrete, it's not dignified.
Why is it that not in the human rights? Those are human rights abuses. Why is that in the human rights report?
But the human rights report does not capture everything that happened in your country.
No, the human rights report captures very important things. And so that issue you're talking about is not very important.
But quickly, guys, before we wrap all here, I don't agree with that. I don't support that. These are some of the careless statements. These are some of the careless statements when leaders make. They have potential consequences. It's almost equivalent to the exact statement with President Joseph Boyka. Ghana dividing land. Ghana doing this. When you leader and you fast to speak, you speak on emotion, sentiments, and all. Leader must always empathize. I don't care how the rule of law tries to kick in. The reason for that is you want to stabilize, you want the country to be. Nobody elected basic. All the people who try to be who blowing the horn, they were not elected. The only person that was elected is the president. And it is the president who brings people around him to help him. And when these people are start making careless and talking carelessly, then that's it. I'm gonna die to money. Your hair out. You know what? That's what I'm looking for attention. After talking to I don't mind. You think you want to call confusion? Oh my God, you guys! All the other people they enjoy this year now. Only that one.
Yeah.
But look, I think, man, the president.
Let me just close because I gotta go.
Yeah, because gotta go. Yeah, go ahead quickly, Mosin, and tell me.
Yes, I just wanted to reiterate here that some of the things when we come in and we talked about, we're only looking at other practices, and I think it's good to do that. It's convenient to do that. And for a long time, I have said the judicial system in Liberia post-war is being revitalized and is evolving. And I think that, a country of no law and order coming back and setting, and you don't have constitutional mandate that covers everything, it's going to take time for us to get to where we are. Because I've watched many cases, civil cases, just arbitrarily become criminal case. You borrow money from somebody, you go report it to the next person, the person in jail. And that's not the proceeding when we talk about democracy and the court proceeding. Nobody should go to jail because they owe somebody money and they stay in jail until they pay the person money. Just like that. You have to commit a crime, or you have to violate some kind of statute before that can happen. But we see that more frequent in Liberia. So the practices by the judiciary has been tough. And that's what I said in the beginning. I'm not sure if they're going to set new case laws with all these proceedings. And I also mentioned that, yes, in fact, with the accusation, what's his name? Prophet Key is entitled to an attorney if he can afford one. He's entitled to an attorney who's going to go and make the case for him. But if we look at the cases and see what's going on, if it's the abuse of power, that is solely on the judiciary. And it will be left for the judiciary to be held accountable for that. And I don't think the administration should get involved with it. And that's what I said. They're separate branches of government. And let me just say, there are a few things that were on my mind. Is it okay for me to close with that in 30 seconds or more?
Yeah, okay, yeah, 30 seconds. That's right.
30 seconds. One of the things is that there are a lot of people, this administration is asking people in the diaspora to go home and to start businesses. Now, one of the things is that I want to propose that we invite the LRA chief down here to kind of explain on what.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
I bet. What an airplane you say we want to buy? What I want?
Hey, man, please don't do that thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Listen, my plane still coming. It's coming. We're still working on it. Dr. Male hasn't even started to do the research yet. We're small, man. We're small. I'm talking something, and this is all in this piece here, and we really need to talk about people who are returning to Liberia and what the process that they've put in place for the LRA, the Internal Revenue System, as far as service agency, as far as people go home with their containers and their personal belongings, because I'm telling you, it is so. I heard some alarming story today of how people are treated at the airport when they go home back home. And it really is deterring people, and they don't want to go through all those hustles. The other thing is that the police chief today, the IG today, announced disciplinary action for accountability. And it was put on Facebook. I'm not sure why that was put on Facebook. It just made the police department look like crap again, because administratively, I don't think that was expedient for that to happen. The last thing I have on my plate, real quick. Yeah, the last thing. No, seriously, I told you I had 3 things today. The last thing I have on my plate is the advertisement of this new mall of Monrovia, or Monrovia Mall. Now, where is the Ministry of Commerce or the Bureau of Commerce, or whatever you want to call it, when these people at the mall are charging people $30 a square foot for space renter? And you got a Chinese person build a mall in Liberia, and we know we can't even build a chicken pen in China. And that these people come in and they do all of these things. They're charging $37,000 for a space renter per year. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's unbelievable. Some of the things that are happening in our country, and people sitting there complacently and think it's not happening. But for someone to go and open a business and think that Liberian people will pay $37,000 for a space at a mall per year, it's just unheard of.
No, these are things when we talk, and then people.
And it's ridiculous. There's no regulations on these things.
So who you holding responsible? The government?
Don't ask me that question, Dr. Mali.
Why we can't ask you that question?
Because we're supposed to know
who is to be held responsible.
I just name the department that are responsible for that.
Moses,
I just named the department. Then you asking who's responsible? You and I are responsible just as much as
No. We're not part of that.
we
We're
need
not
to
part of that.
talk. You are responsible because we need to talk about these things.
First of all, that diaspora thing there, we don't want to waste time here. It's just a lie. And I say here, your people came here. They took a conference to Washington.
Where you go, your people? Why do you keep saying that? Who people?
Why you don't want to be the friend to the people in the elite?
Do you think that you see me hanging with those people? You're talking about your people? Why you always say your people?
No, but see, even the diaspora conference thing, are they the real bona fide true Liberia?
We already had that conversation.
They went to Washington, they drank beer and enjoyed themselves.
We already had that conversation.
If a friend me in Total, he come back here and talk about diaspora.
Those people over there were not representation of people in the diaspora. They were not.
Moses, who is responsible? This thing happening under a government.
Who is responsible? Under whose what?
I just told you the government is just as responsible. I just told you that.
Whose government?
The present government. They didn't better more last government.
Who the hell the president? Why you want to call names?
What are you talking about? We don't need to call names. We know who they are.
Who? I don't know.
And the government is not just
the audience. The audience want to know.
The government is not just His Excellency boycott.
It's boycott. Anything goes wrong. No. You see, don't remove me from the crime scene. Anything that goes wrong.
He's not a part of it, but you guys keep saying
he is. He's a chief architect.
And that's why and conscientize them.
That's what I brought Moses. Your security Moses,
they need to be
your security analyst.
We cannot allow this to happen in our country continuously.
Moses, your security analyst, will you move another party from the crime scene?
Will I move? What you mean another party from the crime scene?
If you went to a crime scene, will you move some people and keep some people there?
Why would I do that?
Okay, then why are you moving the president from the crime scene?
Look, I am.
They always like to protect their alligators.
Dr. Mali, nobody is moving Dr. Boka from there. He's just as responsible as people. He appointed to be there.
Why we want you to say he is responsible? If you bring people around, when you bring
we know that. We know that.
No, we don't know. You are not telling us. You're trying to. You didn't say it louder.
Oh, I didn't say it louder enough. No, but seriously, these are matters that we bring it to their attention, and they need to look at these things seriously. It's on a serious note. Right. I mean, this is ridiculous.
This is what the changes come with a lot of things. It comes with pain. It comes with
but most should not also forget this is part of the investment too. We're talking
what about investment?
Those are investors. Even the poor people, all their shop they open in our country are investment.
Investment where? They're exploiting a country that is 80% in poverty.
All right, guys, time is up. Let's hear.
So the Fula people are not investors?
No, they're not investing nothing. They're taking away. You know that.
Oh.
Mr. Sigbe, your country get nothing for the Fula man to take away.
Huh?
Your country get nothing for the Fula man to take away. I don't know why
that's your sentiment.
I don't know
that's
why
your sentiment.
we behave like this.
They're
but they're doing it. People can struggle.
Hold on.
So can I say my own authority?
Yeah. You're not getting nothing, you will not be there.
Moses, hold on.
They have to be getting something to be there. Come on, now, Reverend.
Mr. Sigbe, that
Moses.
Guys, gentlemen, can Terry make his closing statement? We gotta go. We already out of time.
Mr. Sigbe.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
No, don't go. We listen to your avatar. You want to listen to the man or don't go.
I listen to it. I'm just gonna be talking to mom. That's all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm listening. I'm not going.
Liberia still have all the riches that we're supposed to have that we ourselves will to benefit from. You can bring a Fula man who come and struggle for 3-4 years to pay his shop. And you take your money to go buy the same goods the Fula man buy from the Liberty man and tell me, say the man taking your money from you. The man taking things. What the man taking from you? You're not taking nothing. Your resources remain in the country, in the ground. Your people, the leadership have not done anything with it. All your resources, then you the people who benefiting. The budget, they're not the fuller man controlling your country budget. The fuller man is generating his money from his business that he bought from the C-level people.
And you
Not
can go
get
to
anything to do
Terry,
with
and
your
you
money.
can go to
Right?
China and go do business there.
Why is the fuller man not providing
You can
investment
go
for
to Guinea
Liberia?
and go do business there.
You say what, Dr. Mali?
I said that why the fuller men are also creating an environment for Liberian to be employed. Why?
That he the ones who to do it for you in your
But
country.
then you can go to fuller country
you
and open
return and
business
get
there.
rich and go home, right? And carry
Yeah.
But what are you supposed to do? You the one supposed to
Why is
create
this
the opportunity.
No. Terry,
That is see open door
okay,
policy
guys.
and
Please
destroy
give
our
me chance.
community.
Gentlemen,
Terry,
Give me
gentlemen,
a
come on
small
now.
chance.
Can you
Gentlemen,
go to China and open store?
Moses, we can't do
Terry?
this. Moses, guys, we can't do this. Other people are listening. They need to take a
but
message.
the people
Yeah,
understand.
but no, but you try your own automata. We listen to AL. The man want to try,
Oh my God.
Mr. So, here is my point here, right? Here is my point here. The fuller man is not responsible to build your country for you. It is your government that is on an obligation to tell the fuller man, this is what we want from you.
No.
This is what we want from you.
No.
They're not the fuller man supposed to come to start build school for you from his money. It is your responsibility to tell the fuller man, say, you want this? This is what you got to do to get this. And you make sure that the fuller man live in the confines of the law that will guide him to do exactly that. It is not a responsibility to go build school for you.
No.
Terry,
You
they
don't
want
give in a minute. So that's it. Thank you.
No, now you're not changed around.
Why
You
change around?
you will go to China and go pay your shot.
Dr. Mala, you don't want your statement? You gotta go.
Because the laws are there. That's what we're talking about.
Okay,
In
can
China.
you do your statement so we'll wrap up? We gotta
They
go.
won't allow you to do it in China. The laws are there. We're talking about them creating the law too.
Moses, we can't, please. China, I mean, Terry said, but Dr. Mala, go ahead. They rescue train, they train that boy. I read a crash. I don't want to be in that train now. You're two of y'all should be. Yeah, boy, I'm staying in Bikina or play. Dr. Mala, go ahead.
Yeah,
you have to agree with me because I'm with Bob Bunny. You say, you know.
Yeah, so I think
you see that
back to Prophet Key issue. I would rather advise the executive behind closed door, let the things go, because the thing been on for some time now. We have a fragile security system in our country. Our human rights record keep coming negative all the time. And Prophet Key argument is on the issue of corruption. I want to strongly believe that a conflict of interest if the Chief Justice get businesses running all over that place. And even Prophet Key bring the issue of he putting his son forward for executive appointment, all these kind of thing. You know, those are all abuse of power. And secondly, Prophet Key is taking on the Chief Justice, and he emphasizing on corruption. The issue of the profanity, I think, is secondary here, because I don't know how the Chief Justice can really work around that. So I want to focus more on the tangible. I don't agree with him, the type of society we have, for people to just be insulting people, insulting our ladies, insulting, you know. I disagree. I will not do that. I will not even encourage your friend to do that. But that his style. But the case, if the case go that direction there, the Chief Justice will look very bad. The lady in Liberia will be happy, but the Chief Justice can get no justification in that area because it fall under so many other areas like freedom of speech and other things. But the issue of the corruption, if there are laws that says that this is conflict of interest for the Chief Justice to be having businesses around, then he had to recuse himself from this case, let the other justices come there. Because Prophet Key can go to the Supreme Court, then basically presiding over this thing. No, that would be abuse of power, you see. And using the entire bench for Prophet Key case is also abuse of power. So they should look at it keenly and let the thing go away.
That Bell said this evening. I want to thank you so much to our audience. This is the first time we say it is. That's a gross abuse of power. That's what they're doing.
I hope he shouldn't turn to another Epstein file with his corruption and stuff like that. So what his fear? He takes the entire Supreme Court of the land.
Oh, did you say Epstein file?
I'm saying that maybe there's another corruption on Epstein file that maybe Prophet Key trying to unveil. That's why he's afraid for. I mean, but just to take the entire bench to expedite such a case.
I totally agree with you on that one.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree.
Rescue the news like.
Oh, and Clarence still on the line?
Clarence, he hating, he's gonna bear. He said he's disappointed too. All of y'all tonight.
But CEO, this is another part again in Liberia. We have not actually defined what is corruption in Liberia.
We gotta go. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want.
That would be another problem again at the Supreme Court, and it didn't make a good lawyer. Trust me, the Supreme Court will be on fire.
I think he's going to be exonerated from whatever charges come out. I think he's going to be exonerated because
overall, I think what the Supreme Court has done, they are just validated and elevated Prophet Key, whatever political will. They're going to do things. They're going to rise into the. He's going to rise to the next level. Right. And that people are going to elect him as senator or representative. I mean, that's
I think
people
that's how people get permanent.
I partly agree with that.
The argument now is, I am the right fighter. You're afraid to talk to the Supreme Court. You're afraid to talk to the president. I talked the last time. I told him I didn't want me to talk. But when I go in that house, I will fix it. That's how the country looks like.
That's it.
And he said,
that's it right there.
And really, he's gonna campaign that you gotta cut someone, mom.
We will
be relevant.
We will hold the president responsible of anything.
Oh wow!
No,
so that direction you're taking now, we're gonna fall.
That's the way.
What I'm saying, all of these things are talking about.
The president don't have control over the justices.
You know. Okay, yeah, good night.
But you expect the president to call the chief justice?
We need to practice. We need to start practicing that.
You think they counsel to the president
he actually did that? Did he actually do that?
So we went down that road and you saw how it ended with majority black and minority black. The whole book were red.
Which is supported again. The
That's
author of this,
we went down that road before already. We already went down that road.
But then it's not democracy.
Do you agree the author of this majority speaker is the president?
No, I don't want to agree with that.
Okay, y'all go now.
I don't want to agree with that.
All right, y'all go now.
I'm hoping that
the way you put a question, you want I understand you now. I understand your question now. So
I'm hoping
that when you want entangle us, Liberal got to come soon. We got to come.
No, Liberal not coming soon. Don't call it Liberal. He's not coming soon. They play, hey, you don't want to come right now.
Now you don't want to believe. Y'all will drink it first before we drink it, okay?
I really don't want to believe what happened. That executive has some influence over the change. I really don't want to believe that. That's what happened.
That complete don't move at you. That one, I totally agree.
He didn't allow just the guy to get out of his skin, and he just
what you gonna be the one for?
When they don't take that.
I said today I saw 3,000 person watching the man. 3,000. All the news media were running behind the man.
You're good never.
What?
Making him relevant, right?
That the money. Y'all need to fix that control.
You don't want me. You don't want me to face that country. I got a solution to that country.
You got to reduce some of your extremity. Then I can
No. He got to build it better.
You don't have time for that. Certain people are supposed to be contained at certain places until they come to themselves with civil law, and then they count us out.
Then they count us out.
We give them territory and carry their crew. Good night about that.
Good night.
Okay, well, folks, that does it this evening. I want to thank you so much for your time, your tweets, your comments. We do appreciate that. By God's will, same time, same station. We'll be here tomorrow with another edition of All Things Considered to recap news making headline from Wednesday to Wednesday. I am your host and presenter, Alfonso Zienso, from the New England Bureaus of the Library of Public Radios and Lpr-Tv. Thank you so much. And have a pleasant evening. And by the way, if you are a traveler like some people, just make a deal, rush and get your ticket and have a little time for yourself. Until then, it's LPR that gives you this message. Bye-bye.
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.